The purpose is to raise environmental awareness about the state of our oceans and the state of our environment in general and the impacts it's already having on our world population.
And just like that, Vernon resident Sean Rogers was off to Haida Gwaii, 1,800 kilometers, pulling a small cart with minimal supplies. Rogers has been an advocate for the environment most of his adult life, but it was a recent UN report illustrating the human impact on climate change that served as his tipping point.
You know, back in the 60s, we all sat around and we talked about environmentalism and what that meant, but nothing really came out of that. And now, quite frankly, we're out of time.
In his younger years, Rogers spent time in the military, serving at one point in the coveted French Foreign Legion. But that was decades ago, and Rogers, at 54 years old, now suffers from a degenerative spine condition. Even with a strong military training background, Rogers knows the journey will be a true test of the human spirit.
There'll be pain, there'll be lack of food, there'll be lack of water, there'll be exposure to the elements. Essentially the same things that many of our brothers and sisters in the third world face as a regular daily way of life.
Rogers does not have any direct family of his own, and instead views the world as one. His outlook on life can perhaps be best explained by the tattoo on his forehead. It's the Sanskrit symbol for Om, which he says serves as a reminder that all living things come from the same source.
I believe we all have a responsibility to each and every member of humanity, that if we have it better than someone else, we have to do what we can to make it better for others as well.
Rogers plans to walk 25 kilometers per day, camp out roadside, and refill his water whenever he can. But there's one issue he's a little unsure of.
The one question no one asks, and probably the biggest concern is finding places out of sight to use the facilities.
Jokes aside, Rogers is willing to complete his journey at all costs, even if it means seriously jeopardizing his health. He even brought with him a legal document stating that if he's physically injured or requires any medical assistance, that all procedures must be performed on site.
The bottom line is what I hope to achieve is a change in the way society views itself and views its children and grandchildren and future. If one person decides to hammer home the impact of the environment with their family and make positive changes towards that, then this trip has been worthwhile.
Upon reaching Haida Gwaii, Rogers intends to spend 2.5 months cleaning the western shoreline and then returning home by foot. He anticipates a return to Vernon by late August. For Go Okanagan, I'm Kevin Chirac.